Welcome back once again to a review of the Evolving Analyst book. And today we have one of the authors from that book, Helen Holder. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you.
You're welcome for joining us. And Helen's book, the title of her article in the book is Crafting the Analyst Within. And she is writing in the career growth and strategy section of the book. Helen's article really helps to focus the inner development, I think, of BAs and how self-awareness sort of directly impacts effectiveness. And I really like how she emphasizes this, what we call this reflective practice, this confidence and judgment, this intentional growth. So thank you once again for joining us, Helen.
Thank you so much for having me along to talk about it. It's really
Oh,
exciting.
you're very welcome. Now, a few questions for you. Let's start off with how do you think that self-awareness really helps shape better business analysis?
That's a really great question. So I think firstly, we all operate with blind spots. We all have biases and our own perspectives that we bring to every aspect of our lives, including our work. So I think one of the ways that self-awareness helps analysis is that it helps us to be aware of those things, to understand what those blind spots may be, and I think therefore to kind of think how we can avoid those in our analysis and make sure we open that analysis up to the right sort of broader perspectives. And then I think it also helps with relationship building. If we understand ourselves, we can work on our communication skills, we can work on how we interact with others, and that's always good for business analysts, I think.
It says, love yourself before you love someone else, and you should understand yourself before you understand other people. Yeah,
Totally.
great. Superb. Now, what inner skill do you think matters most for business analysts?
That's another good question. So I definitely think that we can underestimate the courage and the bravery that is needed in the role. It's not always easy to be the person asking questions when everybody thinks they've already answered that one. Trying to kind of challenge the assumptions and maybe kind of actually put forward recommendations that go against perhaps the popular opinion and what the sort of senior stakeholders may have ideally sort of wanted you to be saying. So I think definitely some kind of some courage and bravery is a big thing. And then I think having a growth mindset, being prepared to try things, to be focused on that continual improvement and not just relying on that steady same toolkit all the time, but that willingness to expand the toolkit, expand your approaches and to learn, I think is a really important part as well.
I think that's really you hit the sort of nail on the button there, so to speak. Um, it's important to have this growth mindset, like you said. And if analysts want to grow, how do you think analysts can grow without necessarily changing jobs?
I think there's a couple of things that you can do. I think if you use, and I talk in the article about like skill spotting techniques, I think there's a way for you to recognise, where your growth is needed, the things that you are perhaps not quite so strong at, and to then kind of seek out pieces of work that would allow you to stretch into those things. So I definitely think using that kind of approach is really good. Realistically, your role within an organization may have certain limitations on it. There may only be a certain amount of career development you can get in that 9 to 5 role. I think what's wonderful about business analysis is the community that sits around it and the very many organizations like IIBA, lots of other organizations as well, where you can maybe kind of get involved in that community and really kind of look at other ways that you can build your skills through that community involvement. So I think looking at how you can apply your BA skills outside of your day job is another way that you can learn and develop.
Yeah, I think community building is highly important. Some people need the confidence, and that's where they get it from. Some people already have it, but they need to just practice that confidence. And I think the great thing about community is that you now can listen to other people's opinions about how they see business analysis. So you not only get different perspectives, but maybe you'll learn a thing or two that you can take back to the office, and it can help improve your practice of business analysis as well. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Well, thanks, Helen. It's been a splendid pleasure having a chat with you. And I think just want to emphasize to the audience here, some people just want to focus on tools and frameworks, and I think you've sort of given a different perspective. It's not relying solely on that. You're sort of showing how analysts can understand their own thinking, their own biases, their own behaviors, and become better equipped to help navigate anything like ambiguity, maybe influencing stakeholders, and all of this comes together to create sort of this meaningful impact for us as BAs. So thank you very much, Helen.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to share my thoughts.
You're welcome. And I just want to also mention to the audience, so Helen, you're a head of business analyst where you're working, and so if anyone wants to reach out to Helen, how can they do so with you?
I am on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So yeah, more than happy for people to reach out on there.
Great, awesome. Well, thanks again for your contribution to the book, and certainly appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.